Number 15. It's not too often that you watch a video that completely scares you silly. Published to YouTube by RZ Flame in March of 2017, the uploader of our first clip believes what you're hearing is a ghost, and what you'll soon see will prove it. The sounds are subtle at first. They don't even wake the lone man in the office, who's sleeping on a chair in the corner of the room. Neither does the phone, which rings a couple times shortly after the noises start. He appears to wake slightly, but not enough to get up and answer the phone, and soon he's dozing again. When the phone rings yet again, he finally rises to answer it, before returning to his computer and getting back to work. That's when a chair in the opposite corner of the room spins full circle on its own. This catches the worker's attention briefly, but he shrugs it off and returns to his assignment. A moment later, a water bottle falls from the edge of a desk. At this point, the office worker stands up to gauge what's going on. That's when the poltergeist really has some fun, throwing a chair onto its back in the middle of the office. This activity seems to be the last straw. The man screams and races from the room. That's some good judgment on his part. Number 14. What if you ran into this creature in the middle of the forest? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by SnipesGaming17, the redditor writes, "Is this a giant wolf or a cryptid? I need some help, Chills. Let's give him some." Well, in the woods, with a dog barking, off in the distance you can make out a large creature prowling amongst the trees. Soon it lunges at the dog, running him out of the brush and demonstrating its full size and speed. The creature in the video is enormous. If it's a wolf, it must be a werewolf mid-transition, but most in the comments believe it's something else altogether. Miss Doolittle Tex writes, "That's a wild hog. They can get over 400 pounds. The 70s kid adds, "I also think the trees make it look big, like an illusion. So, what do you think? Wolf, cryptid, or enormous wild hog? Or is it all just an illusion?" Number 13. Vickers Hill in Northern Ireland has a twisted history, and a piece of this history may have been caught on video. A bit of backstory. The footage shows a shadowy figure in Georgian attire cross the street around noon near the Church of Ireland Cathedral. Normal looking enough at first, that is, until it vanishes into the wall of the grounds opposite the cathedral. The ancient city of Armagh has a rich Georgian history, so the dress is befitting of the area. According to the man whose grandmother caught this on camera, she was still hyperventilating from the shock of seeing the ghost. If you saw what appeared to be a solid figure vanish like this, wouldn't you be? And considering the history of this place, it's not far-fetched to think this is paranormal. Number 12. An abandoned mansion in Houston, Texas appears as the epicenter of paranormal activity in this clip, posted to YouTube by Hugo Blog in August of 2016. The shell of a mansion looks creepy enough on the outside, but then they enter. Wandering around the house in the darkness, at some point, the group captures on video what appears to be a ghostly young girl. They apparently didn't see her in real time, as they don't race from the house or cry out in fear. This image was only discovered after playing back the footage. Would you have the guts to enter here? Cross the threshold and find out. Number 11. All the more reason to stay out of the forest. Published to YouTube by CJ Fashion in April of 2020. The channel writes, "Just when I thought a haunted forest couldn't get any scarier, there was an incident inside the Pocomoke forest with a person. Still not sure exactly what is going on with this place, but I can tell you this, something very weird and sketchy is going on in this forest. Pocomoke Forest is located in Maryland and is said to be haunted. Let's find out just how haunted it is." As the crew gets ready to enter the forest, they see a shadow speed across through the woods, and this is only the beginning. They hear something big growling and start to wonder if it could be a bear. As CJ explains, they've been at this site before and he believes his friend Sunny was possessed here. He also notes they're already hearing eerie footsteps all around. They start to explore the forest deeper, hearing noises at all angles.
This was... Oh!
As Manny points out, it's at around 28 minutes in that there appears to be a man standing in the forest next to a tree in the distant darkness. CJ says that their eyes are playing tricks on them, but I don't know about that. It's like the Where's Waldo of ghost hunts, and Waldo is definitely there. Can you find this unknown thing in the forest? Would you even want to? Number 10. Published to YouTube by In Jamaica in August of 2017, this big almost catch occurred at the Hellshire Bridge. The camera approaches a large gathering of onlookers surrounding the bridge in question, where cars have pulled to the side of the road to watch the big event. Two young men have managed to nab the croc by the snout using a length of rope. The crowd cheers as the crocodile thrashes about and soon escapes his captors. They try again, throwing the rope into the murky water. After a few failed attempts to recapture it, they give up and the crowd disperses. Many in the comments below blame the lack of catch on the crowd, saying they're making too much noise and scaring the croc away. Perhaps they're right, but if you knew this monster was lurking below, could you suppress your fear? Number 9. When animated horror creatures come to life, you never know what might happen. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Chris in the Mist 935. Chris wonders if these strange noises may be the work of Siren Head. Who is Siren Head? The urban legend of the tall, cryptic humanoid was the brainchild of Trevor Henderson, but what do the sirens have to say? Sometimes they emit loud noises, often air raid sirens. Now that you know about Siren Head, how would you feel hearing an unexplained siren like this one right outside your door? Redditor DR Exclusive writes, "Bro, he's coming for you. Go hide before he gets you. He's coming quick." Another piece of advice, you may want to invest in some earplugs. Number 8. Seeing an object move in an abandoned haunted house may be a sign that you're not alone. Published to YouTube by Mo Sargi in April of 2020. The channel captured paranormal activity in a haunted house at 3 a.m. The haunted house in question is unsettling. Sitting deep in the forest, the wallpaper is peeling from the walls, and the state of things is decrepit. While taking all this in, Mo explains that this isn't their first visit here. He explains all they've already experienced in this haunted place, and they're about to be faced with even more. At around 4 minutes 40 seconds, some in the comments point out a figure moving in the far doorway. Later, at around 7 minutes 57 seconds, Mo and his partner hear a strange humming in the house.
Sounds like a humming.
If that wasn't enough, as Mo speaks to the spirits around 16 minutes 40 seconds, the fan starts to move.
Is there anything here with us right now? Well, we do know you're here.
First clockwise, then counterclockwise. This is something that apparently occurred before. Mo explains that he has a sudden headache, which he's experienced previously at other extreme hotbeds of paranormal activity. Don't know about you, but I think it's time to close the case file on this haunted house. That is, if you want to play it safe. Number 7. When you head out to make a video on April Fool's Day, prepare to be fooled. Published to YouTube by The Fam in April of 2020. April 1st gives these paranormal investigators more than they bargained for. While exploring a cemetery at night, the police show up at the beginning of filming and questioning James about why he's there. He tells police that his girlfriend dropped him off so that he could walk around and record stuff. He also explains his YouTube channel. After the police leave, he continues on through the graveyard. He hears what sounds like a whistle and then some other strange noises. One scares him so much that he heads back to his girlfriend's vehicle and they investigate together. The noises are coming at them from all angles. At one point, what they hear sounds like a pterodactyl.
What is that? That's not good.
After a moment, waiting in the darkness, 2 cars turn the corner on the cemetery road. The police...
That's crazy, babe. So, and they said that was pretty much all his noises that he made?
Yeah, he said.
This is a perfect moment for a little levity on the part of the cops, and to pull off a prank like this takes a sense of humor. Great job all around. Number 6. What if we are living in a simulation? Cross-posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the cross-poster suggests that this is visual proof that the universe is updating now. The video footage shows a spinning wheel of light in the sky, the type you see on your computer screen when the system is buffering. The wheel is seen at a distance and then close up. The short clip offers no explanation, leaving Redditors to reach the most extreme conclusions. Maybe they're just looking to get some of that McDonald's. Number 5. The G-Team paranormal investigators are at it again, returning to the highly paranormal medical center. The paranormal activity that occurs in this video is sure to scare you silly. Published to YouTube in April of 2020, the team writes, "We chose this place due to the amount of paranormal activity we always get here, and lo and behold, they were waiting for us. Hold on to your hats, because this one's a wild ride." Patty leads the pack, and the paranormal activity that occurs in the center is off to the races from the get-go. As the crew is doing their intro, something in the next room falls to the floor.
Yeah. Oh my god. What was that?
When they go to investigate, they claim that as soon as they walked into the room, it grew extremely cold. Jody screams, saying he felt like something touched him. He said something got his neck, and Patty points out that a cord hanging from the ceiling in the middle of the room is moving. Throughout the entire video, there are odd noises here and there. Sometimes they're subtle, other times they're distinct.
It said doctor?
That was crazy.
Around 10 minutes 25 seconds, Jody is trying to communicate with the presence in the medical center, asking it to tap 3 times.
When
That was.
when that came out,
You hear that?
Although it does not comply, a shadow falls across the room, and another loud bang is heard in the next room.
Oh, God.
All this frightening activity begs the question, what kind of medical procedures went on here? Number 4. Filming in St. Augustine at night would usually mean loads of traffic and a hopping nightlife. But considering what's going on in the world today, YouTube channel Hunting the Dead arrived at an eerily empty street in the usually bustling city in May of 2020. This is part 2 of the channel's Paranormal Encounter series in St. Augustine. According to the team, the spirit of a boy named James likes to come to this area and sit up in a tree in Tolamato Cemetery on Cordova Street. Jody also claims you can hear the boy's mother call him on occasion. The history behind this ghost? During the 19th century, 5-year-old James Morgan would always climb the old oak tree here, which stood 3 stories tall. Sadly, in 1877, he fell from the tree and lost his life. He was buried in the graveyard below. His family had purchased several plots around the boy's grave, but being so grief-filled, they ended up leaving St. Augustine and never came back, leaving James's grave in isolation. Perhaps it's this loneliness that keeps little James's spirit from moving on. Ghost tour guide Dion Moore claims to have seen the boy in the tree on 2 occasions, once in person while giving a guided tour, and once via a photo taken by a young girl on his tour. Moore said, "There is such a thing as energy. Energy never goes away." Let's see what kind of energy is alive in the cemetery. Apart from EVPs, some of the photographic evidence of this site will make your skin crawl. Jody captured a shadow figure in his photograph of the hanging tower platform looking down at them. He calls it the Goatman picture because the figure appears to have 4 legs. His wife Alicia caught something even more frightening. When taking photos at the entrance, she captured this evil-looking mask-like face glaring back at her. Would you dare enter the haunted Tolomato Cemetery? With the sordid history and the paranormal energy that appears to exist there, I don't think I would have the guts to enter. Number 3. There's no more haunted a place than a 20th century lockup. Published to YouTube by Heather Hauntings in March of 2020, Heather and her man are staying in a cell where inmates have allegedly passed away. The result? Major paranormal activity as evidenced in these 2 videos. Last used in 1984, the jailhouse was once the scene of at least one life-taking, and another person locked up took their own life. Of course, with such a twisted history, many believe former inmates now haunt its grounds. Paranormal investigators have heard caustic sounds, footsteps, and voices. Even the historian believes the place is haunted. Bullard told the Jasper News, "Let's just say I went to the front door and left quickly. I heard something. I saw something that moved like a shadow, and I didn't stick around."
Here all night?
It seems enough of a warning for these paranormal investigators to know they're about to experience something truly chilling. In one video, they explore talking to the spirits via the spirit box, meanwhile hearing strange noises throughout the building. At one point, when they black out the room, loads of EVPs can be heard on the spirit box. In the second video, as they're staying overnight in the cell, they attempt to communicate with the spirits again. After asking if another inmate took the life of the spirit, they hear a distinctive yes twice on the EVP.
Yes. That was a very clear yes.
At around 14 minutes 30 seconds into the video, they start to hear the lightest of footsteps. They attempt to catch some shut-eye in the cell, and around 3 a.m., the witching hour, something bangs loudly, awakening them. Around the same time they heard this noise, Greg says he felt something touch his leg. Needless to say, they couldn't go back to sleep in the cell. Could you? I certainly wouldn't. Number 2. There is More to Fear in the Woods, published to YouTube in October of 2007 by Dennis Daunt. This video purports to show paranormal activity in the forest outside of Dudley Town. In the forest, a man is heard dialing up a friend to let him know that he's seeing some creature in the forest again, and he's going to try and catch it on video. He runs upstairs from the sound of it to catch it from a better vantage point. That's when, faintly, at the forest's edge, you can see a shadow pass in front of the trees in a quick flick. Some in the comments think it's a horse, but according to many others, Dudley Town is a cursed place. YouTuber TopsX4 warns others, stay out of Dudley Town, it's a dangerous and evil place. When you get into the town, there is no sound, not even a bird, it's like you're in a vacuum. Bad things happen here. DGS 104 also claims that his friend's car was trashed by spirits there. while Dave Harley agrees that Dudleytown is absolutely no joke, adding that many are said to have passed away in the coal mines, while other residents simply went insane. With such accounts and this video, I'm convinced to never visit. Number 1. What would you do if you came across this chilling scene at night? Well, because there's a sign on the side of the road that reads "Free Cat." If it's there to lure unsuspecting people in, it's done its job. As these three stop their car to check out the makeshift animal shelter, as the trio approach the sign, they realize they're looking at something truly horrifying on a dark, deserted road at night. They conclude that whoever did this put the cats there because they're psycho. Couldn't agree more. Get out of there as fast as humanly possible.